I'm very tired of suffering. I've been actually very tired of suffering for quite some time. And I've been looking for answers because I think that there has to be something more to life than this, than barely getting by, than going to work, doing your thing, get back home completely tired, cook your meal, find some time for a short workout, then go to bed and then repeat. And once you know it, it's already Friday. Weekend goes by super fast. Clean the house in the weekends, wash the dirty laundry, and then once you know it, boom, it's Monday again. That used to be my life before. Now I work from home, but I still realize that there is this sense of rat race. Like I always thought that the rat race was because I used to work a corporate job from 9 to 5. But now that I was able to make myself correspondent with working from home, I realized that that sense of stuckness is still there. So I verified that, at least in my experience, the rat race has nothing to do with the corporate job itself, but it has to do with my outlook on life. And so I realized that the problem was never the thing external to me. The problem is somewhere in here. And so I know that there's something to change in here. And so recently I got my hands on this book, Mindfulness in Plain English. I just started yesterday, but I want to read you something that really resonated with me because it really describes the current situation that I'm in. And I'm pretty sure that many of us are in this situation. And so I hope that it resonates with you too. And I'm going to paraphrase it. I'm not going to read absolutely everything. I'm going to skip a couple sentences in between just because I really want to stick to the core. So it says, just because of the simple fact that you're human, you find yourself to an inherent unsatisfactoriness in life that simply will not go away. You can distract yourself for hours on end. You can suppress it from your awareness for a time, but it always comes back, and usually when you least expect it. Suddenly you realize that you're spending your whole life just barely getting by. Ouch. You manage to make ends meet somehow, and you look okay from the outside. But you're a mess and you know it. But you hide it beautifully. So what's wrong with you? Are you a freak? No, you're just human, and you suffer from the same malady that infects every human being. It's a monster inside all of us. But we even built a whole culture around hiding from it, around pretending it isn't there, and distracting ourselves with goals, projects, and concerns about status. But it never goes away. And this part made me think that yes, I've been living all my life thinking about achievements, like external achievements. I want to learn yoga. I also in the past I wanted to learn how to trade, and I actually started a separate YouTube channel where I was teaching how to trade. It was a teaching as I learn type of concept. But I noticed that I was doing it for the money, not for the process itself, and so I left that project aside. But other than that, it has always been project after project, goal after goal, because everywhere around us we hear that you have to be results oriented, you have to be goal oriented, because if you're not results oriented, then nobody's gonna hire you. That's how everybody thinks. It's all about goals, projects, achievements. And so I love that he says that we distract ourselves with goals, projects, and concerns about status. Continuing, it's a little voice in the back of the mind that keeps saying, not good enough yet. I need to have more. It's a monster, and it's a monster that manifests everywhere in subtle forms. So here he's going to describe all the different forms that the suffering manifests itself, or some people call it the ego. Go to a party, listen to the laughter that expresses fun on the surface, but fear underneath. Think about it. Nobody really relaxes. They're faking it. Which makes me think of all these people that I see posting on social media about how they spend their days at the beach, taking a selfie. Look, I work wherever I want, But in reality, they're not fully relaxing. They're not present. They're just selling a life online because that's what gets views, that's what gets likes. He also talks that another mask of suffering, or another way that the ego expresses itself, is through anger, or through catcalling, or drunkenness, or even fights. And he explains that these are people trying to desperately release tension from within. Like, there's something that you have to do with that insatisfaction inside of you. And so you are reactive. You're living constantly in a reactive mode. And I really resonate with that. I'm constantly, for example, when somebody answers in a way that I define as disrespectful, usually I lash back at that person, or I'm like, why do you disrespect me? And like a whole conflict starts. And I'm tired of living that way, honestly. And then this is a very good one where he says, listen to the lyrics of popular songs. You find the same theme repeated over and over again in different variations. They're all about jealousy, suffering, discontent, and stress. And then I thought, wait a minute, this is very true. And this is actually one of the reasons that I actually stopped listening to the radio, that I stopped listening to music, because I felt that music sometimes brought my energy down. I felt depressed. I felt more troubled. And then I realized that music talks about depending on other people. You're my everything, and I love you, and you're my other half, and you left me completely heartbroken after you left, and you ruined my life. And there's so much dependency on the external things that I was brainwashing myself with that. And I said, not anymore. So yes, I have verified the lyrics of popular songs. They brainwash us into thinking that way. And then he talks about the if only syndrome, which is, if only I had more money, then I would be happy. If only I could find somebody who really loved me, then I would be happy. If only I would lose 20 pounds, then I would be happy. Which is also so true for me, because I used to think that if only I would have somebody that loves me, then that would be it, you know? Like, I don't need anything else. Now I've been in a wonderful relationship for the past 5 years, but I realized that there is still a sense of insatisfaction inside of me. And that's because now I realize that nobody else can make me happy other than myself. Or I also thought, once I get to live in my own place, then that's it. Then I'll be fully happy. There's nothing better to that. And now that I'm living in a place that I can call mine, I'm like, but this isn't it. Or I thought, once I can work from home, then that's gonna be a massive change. And now that I work from home, like, yes, there was a temporary high after that, but now I'm back at, really, what the fuck? That's just basically how I feel. I wake up and I'm like, what is this? What am I doing? I'm sharing this piece of the book with you guys. First of all, because it resonated with me. But second of all, because maybe it can resonate with you guys as well. Maybe someone watching the video is also in a state of what the fuckness. I call it the what the fuckness state. Like, the days are going by so fast, and what the fuck am I doing with my life? I'm almost 30. I'm going to be 30 in 2 months. I'm not even thinking of having kids. Like, I can barely get by with my partner. So having kids would feel like the most irresponsible thing to do right now. But I'm like, there has to be more to life than the job, than the function, than the title, than getting married, than having a boyfriend, than having kids. Even though I can imagine that having kids is a very wonderful thing to do. But I've come to realize that happiness doesn't come from outside, because it hasn't. Like, I've achieved many things externally. You know, I'm not Elon Musk, you know, I'm not a billionaire. But I've done things in life that I thought would make me happy, that would be like the bliss moment, that would be everything. And I feel so far from it. And so now I'm like, wait a minute. The answer is not externally. The answer is not outside of me. There's something that I need to change inside of me. All of this to say then, you're not alone. If you feel stuck, if you're suffering a lot, either because you're going through an experience of jealousy, you're going through anger, you're going through feelings of revenge, you're going through feelings of the world is against me, you're going through feelings of this person hurt me or that person hurt me, or you're going through experiences of I feel so lonely and I need this to be happy, you're not alone in this. And I'm trying to figure it out. Probably so are you, and so is everybody else. I guess what I want to say with all of this is you're not alone.